Hey everyone. So, I don't know if it's just me. I don't have the numbers on this, but to me, offense seems to be really up this year. There seems to be a lot more goal scoring in the NHL than there's been in the last few years. There's a lot of guys at point per game paces right now. We'll see how many of them can keep that up over the full season. But through, 14, 15, 16 games for these guys, there are a lot of players at a point per game pace. There's a lot of players playing really well, and there's a lot of players getting talked about for how well they're playing. But what I've noticed is it's the same players keep getting mentioned over and over in the national media, on social media, just in general. When talking about hockey, people are talking about the same players, and they should be. It's guys like Stamkos, Kucherov in Tampa Bay, Schwartz and Shen in St. Louis, Kopitar and Brown in LA. Guys like that are getting a lot of attention and press paid to them because they're off to fantastic starts, and they should be getting that attention because they're playing really, really well right now. But there are a lot of other players playing really, really well that aren't getting the attention that they deserve, and there's no way I could go through all of them just in one video, but I picked some out that I think are not getting the recognition that's due to them, and that I think are really playing well, but no one's really paying attention to. And this is not even close to all of the players that fall under this category, because this video would be, for an hour long. There would be no way. If I just listed all the players playing at a point per game pace right now, the list would be very, very long. So I just picked out a few guys that I think have been really big time difference makers this season and really helping their teams, but aren't really getting much credit for it. So we've got the list right here. First up, Blake Wheeler in Winnipeg. Winnipeg has been a huge, pleasant surprise this year, playing a lot better than I thought they would, and really looking like a potential playoff team. And Blake Wheeler has been a huge part of that. Not a lot of people have been talking about Winnipeg yet or Wheeler, but through 14 games played, he has 5 goals and 16 assists already for 21 points. He has been fantastic, and if he continues to play this well, Winnipeg is in very good shape. Johnny Gaudreau in Calgary. Calgary's gotten off to kind of an ass start, so there hasn't been a ton of talk about them playing well or players on Calgary playing well. But Gaudreau's been fantastic, and you think of him as more of a goal scorer. He has 15 assists through 15 games, and only has 4 goals to this point. So he's got 19 points in 15 games, and has been very good on a team that has been very average to this point. Sean Couturier in Philadelphia. Couturier is known as a defensive forward, kind of a shutdown guy that you match up against the other team's top player to shut them down, and not really as a point producer, but he got moved to the first line this year, playing with Giroux and Voracek, and man, has he taken off offensively. The only reason Philadelphia's head is above water right now is because their top players are producing at a high level while a lot of their defensemen are out injured, and Couturier has been a huge part of that. Through 15 games, he's got 9 goals and 9 assists for 18 points. At the rate he's going, he's going to blast his career highs in all offensive categories out of the water this year. So we'll see if he can continue that, and if he does, Philadelphia, as they start to get healthier and get guys back, will be in much better shape than they are now. When you think about the New York Islanders, everyone immediately thinks of John Tavares, and they should. He's off to a great start. He's got, I think, 12 goals already, just a ridiculous number of goals already. But don't forget about Josh Bailey. This guy, I think, is one of the most underrated players in the whole league. He's been that for a couple of years now. He's absolutely fantastic, and he is on another level this year. 15 games played, he's got 3 goals, 15 assists, and 18 points. So over a point per game for Bailey. A lot of those 15 assists, I think, have gone to John Tavares goals, and that is fantastic. Bailey has been a huge piece in in New York, and New York's had a good year so far. If that continues, Bailey's going to be a big part of it. Clayton Keller. Now, people have been talking about Clayton Keller because he's a rookie and he's playing so well. So when talking about the Calder Trophy, Keller's always the first name up. So he has gotten talked about a little bit, but he's on such a bad team in Arizona that I think people are overlooking just how spectacular his start to this season and his career has been. Through 17 games, he already has 11 goals and 6 assists for 17 points. So as a rookie on the worst team by far in the NHL, he's a point-per-game player, and he has 11 goals in 17 games. He's unbelievable. This kid is the real deal, and if you're talking about building blocks to build around in Arizona, Max Domi and Clayton Keller. Keller is probably your best building block at this point. He has been absolutely fantastic so far this season. Over now to Ottawa. Ottawa is a team that's kind of flying under the radar. Obviously just made a big trade for Matt Duchene, so that kind of got them in the news. But Mark Stone is quietly having a fantastic year for the Senators. He has 9 goals already in 14 games. Add another 7 assists to that for 16 points. He is a very underrated player in the NHL, and he's really gotten off to a great start this year. Big reason the Senators are where they are in the standings, and if he keeps it going, Ottawa has a good chance of returning to the playoffs this season. And lastly, another guy who's not really talked about much because the team he's on is really bad, but Evander Kane in Buffalo, 15 games played, 15 points, 9 goals already to go with his 6 assists. Contract year for Kane, probably someone who's going to get traded at the deadline. If he is a free agent this summer, so if he doesn't sign either back in Buffalo, which I don't think is going to happen, or wherever he gets traded to, then he will be one of the biggest names out on the market this summer. He's really picked it up over the past 2 years. I've been a big critic of Kane. I've thought of him as very overrated and very overpaid. But the last year he had a fantastic year, and he's off to a great start this year in Buffalo, so he might finally be picking it up and playing at the level that he should be, and that's good because he has a chance to make a payday now in free agency. So those are just a few of the many, many guys who are playing way above expectations and off to fantastic starts this year. I was just looking at the stats on NHL.com. I didn't count it out, but the number of guys who are playing at a point-per-game pace right now is very long, much longer than usual, and much longer than it's going to become the end of the year. But nonetheless, these guys are playing really well, and offense seems to be really up this year, at least from what I can tell. Based on, I've been watching hockey my whole life. I don't remember a lot there being this many guys putting up these kind of points. So those are just some guys I wanted to talk about and thought deserve some credit. So like, comment, share, subscribe, follow on social media. Links are in the description. Thank you guys very much for watching. Spread the word about this channel. We want it to keep growing, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks, guys.